The American Dream of Redcliff. Ethan and Sir Callum, the Redcliff and Guinea Bridge Railway's two steam locomotives, were struggling very hard to keep up with the demand for traffic of the picnic flyer. Ever since Jack had been sent away from Redcliff and Guinea Bridge Railway in disgrace, the other two steam engines had to cope on their own without any rest in between whatsoever. This resulted in them getting very worn out by the end of the day, and their trains were only going to get heavier from here on out and a lot busier as the school summer holidays were coming. In fact, sometimes their trains would be so heavy that they stalled on the Bexgate flyover. As a result, another engine would have to come and help them up the hill. This would become very tedious and cause bad delays to the picnic flyer over time. A very tired and worn-out Ethan rolled slowly into his siding at Redcliff Loco Yard. He wanted to have a quick chat with Sir Callum before going out like a light. Sir Callum, you know how Mr. Eric said another engine will be coming to help us in Jack's wake? Yes? Well, when is this engine getting here? It feels like such a long time since Mr. Eric told us about the American engine.
Supposed to know.
But I completely agree with you, Ethan. The sooner he arrives, the sooner we will both finally be able to have a much-needed rest. That is a very good question, you two. Oh, hello, Mr. Eric. Well, you two, I have got good news for you both. The American engine is almost here. He will be arriving tomorrow early in the morning, probably while you're both still asleep. However, unlike Jack, he is not here on loan. He is here to stay. Permanently. So Callum, I want you to work with him tomorrow morning so Ethan can have a well-deserved rest. You will get your well-deserved rest on the morning after tomorrow. After the two of you have got all the rest you deserve, Ethan and the American engine will take it in turns to help you pull the picnic flyer from then on. And if one is helping with the picnic flyer, the other will be doing freight work. Do you both understand me? Yes, Mr. Eric? Good. Now get some sleep, you two. You're both going to have a very busy day tomorrow. Now good night, you two. I'm off home. And pretty much as soon as Mr. Eric had gone, Ethan and Sir Callum fell fast asleep. The next morning, Sir Callum went over to the refuelling point to stock up on coal and water for the day. He was just about to be refueled when he noticed a steam locomotive that he had never seen before standing in the bypass loop at Redcliff Station. He wondered if that was the American engine. Fireman, do you think that's the new engine over there? Well, is he of an American design?
It looks that way from this angle. Then it's him.
So after Sir Callum's fireman had finished refuelling him, Sir Callum went over to the station to meet the new engine.
Hello there. Are you the new steam engine from America?
Why, yes I am, buddy. My name's Jacob, and you must be Sir Callum. I've heard all about you and your buddy Ethan. I hear you need a helping hand. Well, that's what I was built for. I'm very happy to be here to help. I've also heard about mean old Jack. He sounds like one of the rudest engines out there. Oh yes, he was very rude. And it's very nice to meet you, Jacob. You sound like a very kind and helpful engine. Just then, Brian arrived with the coaches for the day's picnic flyer train. He shunted them onto the back of Sir Callum, and his fireman went to couple him up. Oh, and this is Brian, our shunting engine. Brian, meet Jacob. Hi, Jacob. I'm looking forward to getting to know you.
Howdy, Brian. You're one of the cutest little switchers I ever done seen. Did you just call him a switcher? Yes, back in America, we call shunters switchers.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's almost time for us to go now. Could you please go in front of me to couple up, please? Right on it, Sir Cal. And Jacob moved forward beyond the points and then carefully coupled up to the front of Sir Callum. Okay, Jacob, are we all ready to go?
Ready and raring, buddy.
Good. A couple of minutes later, the conductor blew his whistle and Sir Callum and Jacob were ready to go.
Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. All right, no need to rush.
As Jacob and Sir Callum travelled along, Jacob began to enjoy and comment on the countryside.
You know, Sir Cal, the United Kingdom has some of the most mighty fine scenery I ever done seen. Oh, well, it's very nice of you to say that, Jacob. Back in America, at least the parts I worked in, it's nothing but dusty, rocky, and just plain boring for my liking, with the exception of California, of course. But even the landscaping of good old Cali will never be a match for England.
Jacob! We're meant to stop at this station! Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, right.
And Jacob braked as hard as he could. But when he stopped, he noticed that 2 coaches were beyond the platform.
Oops, my bad.
It's okay, Jacob. Everyone makes mistakes. Sir Callum's kind words made Jacob feel better, and so they reversed back into the station to let the passengers on. No one seemed to mind about Jacob's little mistake, so Jacob felt even better. A couple more minutes of waiting later, the conductor blew his whistle again, and Jacob and Sir Callum were off again. They had been asked by the conductor to stop at the top of the Bexgate flyover so the passengers could enjoy the view from the top. As they were slowing down, they noticed Robert waiting at the junction just below them. Hello, Sir Callum. Who's your friend? Oh, hi, Robert. This is Jacob. He's come from America to help out me and Ethan as Jack's permanent replacement.
Howdy, Robert. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you too, Jacob. I hope you're liking our railway so far. Oh, that's my conductor's whistle. I'm sorry, but I really must go. I don't know what Mr. Eric would do without me to run the majority of the passenger services on this railway. And Robert rolled away importantly. Later on, Sir Callum and Jacob passed the site of Vitesse's accident. The site had been fully cleared now and something was being built there. Their run and rested before setting off on their next run of the day. Jacob was still enjoying his time on the Redcliff and Guineabridge Railway. When they got back after their second run, Mr. Eric was waiting for them. Hello, Jacob. Are you enjoying our railway so far?
I'm loving it here, sir. This is an incredible place.
Oh, well, that's good. You have proved yourself worthy of pulling passenger trains on this railway. Now you must learn how to handle freight trains. I want you and Sir Callum to uncouple from your train now and go to the nearest anti-siding so you can go to the rolling stock yard to collect your freight wagons. Ethan will then take your place with Sir Callum to run the trains for the afternoon while you take your freight train to Guineabridge Junction.
Why, of course, sir. I can handle any type of train, whatever the weather. I can do it in America, so I can do it here.
But what Jacob didn't know was that the wagons on the R and GR behaved extremely poorly compared to the ones on the Union Pacific. So Jacob and Sir Callum pushed the coaches back out of the way and moved forward to uncouple in a siding where they separated themselves on different tracks. Then Sir Callum waited for Ethan to come while Jacob ran off happily to find his wagons. Now the wagons on the R and GR are silly and noisy. They talk a lot and don't attend to what they are doing. And, I'm sorry to say, they play tricks on any engine who isn't used to their behaviour. Sir Callum knew all about how to handle the behaviour of the wagons. He warned Jacob to be careful just before he ran off, but Jacob was too excited to listen. The yard manager fastened the coupling, and when the points changed, Jacob was ready. Conductor Jeremy blew his whistle. Jacob answered with 2 toots on his 5-chime whistle and started off, but the wagons weren't ready.
Oh! Wait, Jacob, wait!
But Jacob wouldn't wait.
Come along. All right, don't fuss.
Jacob began going faster and faster. He whistled long and loud as he rushed through Redcliff Station.
Faster!
Jacob was feeling very proud of himself, but the wagons grew crosser and crosser. At last, Jacob slowed down as they came to the Bexgate flyover. Steady now, Jacob, steady. As the train reached the top, Jacob began to put on his brakes.
We're stopping. No, go on.
Before the firemen could stop them, the wagons had pushed Jacob down the hill and were rattling and laughing behind him. Poor Jacob tried desperately to stop them from making him go too fast.
Stop pushing.
But the wagons took no notice.
Go on. There's the station. Oh dear, what shall I do?
They rattled straight through platform 2 and swerved round a bend. Jacob shut his eyes.
I must stop.
When Jacob opened his eyes, he noticed that he had stopped just inches from the points that were set against him. Any further and he would have derailed. There, watching him, was none other than Mr. Eric. Ah, Jacob, you're 15 minutes early. That's good, but why is that?
Oh, I don't know, sir. I just delivered these wagons like you told me to, sir.
I see. Why did you come so fast?
I didn't mean to, sir. The wagons pushed me.
Well, have you ever pulled wagons before?
Well, yes, but the wagons back in America did not behave like that at all. They were very well behaved, and we did not have any trouble with them at all. By the way, sir, how did you get here before I did?
That's easy, Jacob. I just used magic.
That's a Mr. Bean reference, right?
Yes, it is. But anyways, it seems to me that you aren't used to the behaviour of the wagons on our railway. Therefore, I think you need a bit of practice. After handling mostly freight trains on this railway for the next few days, you should know almost as much about them as Sir Callum. Then I'm sure you'll be a really worthy member of our fleet after that.
Not that I'm suggesting that you aren't currently worthy of working on this railway. Yes, sir.
Then the Guinea Bridge Junction signalman changed the points and Jacob puffed slowly away back to the loco yard. He felt very silly. That night, in the loco yard, all the other engines thought it a great joke.
Ha! Fancy having those silly wagons pushing down the hill. I know, right? That's the funniest thing to ever happen on this railway in a long time.
Jacob was furious with all the other engines mocking him, and this would make him an angry and conceited engine for the next few days. Luckily, though, this wouldn't last, as in a few days' time, Jacob would learn that arrogance is not a good thing. But that's a story for another day. Bum 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 bum, train number 16.